Hello, I'm David Bankston, travel adventurer and host of Dave Travels. In this episode, we travel the famous Alaskan coastline via the Norwegian Jewel cruise ship. Traveling by cruise provides the greatest opportunity to cover the most ground in a week's time frame. Our cruise departed from Seattle and stops at Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, Victoria, British Columbia, then back to Seattle. Alaska offers so many amazing sights it was hard to squeeze it all into one episode, so I only picked the top 3 destination ports for this episode. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this extended episode of Dave Travels.
First up, Ketchikan. This air and marine transportation hub for southeast Alaska gets its major income from 2 sources: tourism and being the salmon capital of the world. Alaska Airlines has a gateway to Ketchikan from Seattle, Juneau, or Anchorage. From here, you can grab a SeaWind Aviation air and land adventure over the Misty Fjords wilderness area on a de Haviland Beaver Seaplane. This plane has been the workhorse since 1947 and still the gold standard of seaplanes. With floats for wheels, 1 engine, 1 propeller, and 1 pilot, this may be the closest you get to feeling like Indiana Jones. Mother Nature does some of her most majestic work in Alaska. 2 million acres of protected land is home to Kodiak, polar, brown, and black bears, as well as humpback whales and bald eagles. We touched down on this poetic lake to take photos while standing on the floats. This 50 to 70 million year old valley carved by glaciers is called the Yosemite of the North. It is one of the most beautiful places on Earth. We close this part of our tour with stunning sunset views as we cross the inside passage on our cruise ship. Juneau. Named after a gold prospector, Juneau can't be reached by road from the rest of the state. It sits among 2 giant glaciers. Juneau is the capital of Alaska. No trip to Alaska is complete without whale watching, and Harv and Marv boast a 100% success rate for sightings on their trips in small groups of 7 to 12, and they offer the very best viewing experience. We cast off with Jaylene, the youngest ever certified female boat captain. Sure enough, just a few minutes after leaving port, orca whales were playing off the bow. Orcas, or killer whales, are toothless whales feeding on either fish or marine animals like sea lions, seals, walruses, and even large whales. They are the apex predators, having no natural predators of their own.
There goes the tail! Wow!
We stopped at the famous Mendenhall Glacier, 12 miles long and responsible for creating this lake from its melting ice. The Mendenhall has receded 1.5 miles in the past 50 years and continues to melt. Back in town, we had lunch at the Red Dog Saloon, world famous for providing hospitality to weary travelers and locals since 1940. It is the oldest man-made tourist attraction in Juneau. Memorabilia includes a walrus usk, paper currency signed by miners from around the world, and Wyatt Earp's gun that he checked but failed to reclaim on his way to Nome.
It's only a paper hanging over the hardwood seat. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believe in me.
The next leg of our cruise treated us to views of mile-high walls of granite and huge up-close glaciers. Alaska is home to more than half of all the glaciers in the world. Ice fields and over 100,000 glaciers cover much of Alaska's surface. Crumbling ice off the face of a glacier is called calving and can be very dangerous, so don't get too close. Dark stripes running down the middle of the glacier consist of pulverized rock that was pushed up between two merging glaciers. Skagway, British Columbia. In a single year from 1896 to 1897, this remote town grew from a few tents to a city of 20,000 gold seekers. For today's adventure, we'll set forth in a Jeep to see the White Pass Mountains and the famous Emerald Lake across the Canadian border. We stopped at the small town called Carcross, which was once a fishing and hunting camp for inland Tlingit and Tagish people. There's one local supply store, and it's open part of the year. Supplies are packed from top to bottom to focus on things needed to survive when roads are closed and people are totally isolated for months at a time. Just north is the Carcross Desert, referred to as the world's smallest desert. This area is packed with wildlife, including brown and black bears, who like to use the road for easy travel, so you don't even have to get out of your car to spot them. Emerald Lake in the Yoho Canadian National Park is one of its largest 61 lakes and is a premier tourist attraction. Due to its elevation of over 10,000 feet, the lake is frozen from November to June. Its vivid turquoise color is from powdered limestone and is most vibrant in July as the snow melts from the surrounding mountains. Alaska is truly a treasure chest of nature. It's been said the air tastes like champagne, and with a list of tops like Mount McKinley, the tallest mountain in the U.S., over 100 volcanoes, and the only point in the U.S. where you can experience 24 hours a day and 24 hours at night, Alaska really did pick the right state flower, the forget-me-not, and I certainly won't forget this trip anytime soon. Thank you for watching this episode of Dave Travels, and be sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on our next travel adventure.